Hey guys, what's going on? Robert Warshak here, and we've got some new patch updates. We expected some sort of balance change slash patch update to happen due to the fact that the meta is seemingly, it's getting figured out. It's really getting a little stale. There's a lot of cards that are still in question that seem very powerful. A lot of people are still pretty unhappy with where Demon Hunter is, and a lot of people would like to see some of the cards that may not see as much play buff so far. And I think this 17.2.1 patch notes is going to take care of that. We've got a lot of cards to take a look at, a lot of changes. I think they mentioned like over a dozen cards, and I'm pretty excited to see what happens with this. First one, the Aldor Attendant, cost 2 from 2 attack, now cost 1, and it's a 1/3. Holy shit. So this is now, instead of a 2 mana 2/3, it's a 1 mana 1/3. That's actually pretty big because right now I've been playing a lot of Libram Paladin, and they have no 1-drops. So this being 1 mana, I mean, 2 mana 2/3 is still good, but a 1 mana 1/3 is significantly, I guess, better because it's just a turn 1 play instead of doing nothing on turn 1, and then turn 2 you can buff. Torrent, old cost is 5, new cost is 4. What the hell's going on here? All right, there it is. So it gets reduced by 1, so it's basically a 1 mana deal 8 if you cast a spell last turn. 1 mana deal 8. So Shaman, I mean, this card isn't really even played in Shaman right now, but I guess I see other Shaman cards in here, so we'll have to keep taking a look. But I was never a fan of Torrent. Right now is a meta that, like, there's a lot of tokeny creatures. A lot of things are 1/1s, 2/1s, 2/2s, 3/2s, and spending what would be 5 mana if you didn't cast a spell prior to killing like a mid-range minion. But spending 1 mana and killing a 3/3 is significantly less hurt. So Torrent, not bad single target removal. Really not bad, but I don't know. I'm still not a fan of, like, I don't like the requirement of having to cast a spell last turn because it's just a removal. You know what I mean? Like, why do I have to pay a premium to just use a removal tool in a Shaman when you have Hex, you have mages with fireballs that just deal 6 damage to wherever the hell they want for 4 mana? Like, fireball costs a mana less than this, and it can go face, and the damage isn't that big of a deal. Like, the damage difference is only 2 damage, so I don't know. I'm not a fan of Torrent. Shadowed Rumbler, though, I really did like this card. This is found in our big Shaman deck, and it has its old stats are obviously the 5 mana 4/6, and its new is a 5/6. So now it's a 5 mana 5/6. This guy was already pretty busted when I was playing him in our big Shaman, which hopefully that video has already been posted. But if it's not, it'll be posted very soon. Yeah, this guy is actually really good. It's a really good elemental. Plus 2 damage to all minions. If you're not a Demon Hunter fan and you're playing a lot of Demon Hunters, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but almost every early game minion in Demon Hunter has like 1 or 2 HP. Playing a 5 mana 5/6 that kills basically everything that's come out of the Demon Hunter on turn 4 if you have coin. So you can go like Farsight, coin, Shattered Rumbler on turn 4. Clear board, have a 5/6. Pretty insane. Lurker Below, old attack, it's 6 mana 6/3. New, he's a 6 mana 6/5. So he basically statted to where he should have been in the first place. This is what the card should have honestly looked like before, which they probably didn't want to do because of Fire Elemental. Because Fire Elemental is a 6 mana 6/5 deal 3, and this guy is just a significantly better version than Fire Elemental. You know what I mean? So they didn't want to like make it that power creep, but I mean, nobody's playing Shaman, right? Like, a 6 mana 6/3 is just not fucking doing it. It literally dies to a 1-drop. This card can die to a 1-drop. This dies to Flame Imp. This dies to a Flame Imp, boys. So now it doesn't. So Lurker Below, now not. But he's a legendary. It needs to be better. I mean, I agree he's a legendary, but it's still like, now there's literally no reason you'd ever play Fire Elemental. Unless maybe you're playing like a Quest Shaman, plus Fire Ele can go face. The 8 cards below will be eligible for a full dust refund, boys. Full dust refund. What do we got? Princess of Fury. All right, what happened to her? This is her old stats and her new stats. She's a 6/5. Oh my god, she just lost 2 HP, boys. A 7 mana 6/5? She's trash now. She's terrible. A 7 mana 6/6 would have been fine. 7 mana 6/6 would have been fine. 7 mana 6/5? She's unplayable. Wow, the Demon Hunter hate is real. All right, before I even look, see how this is covering up the this Crimson Sigil? They basically, I bet they made the Sigil 2 mana 1/1. So it's new attack 1, health 1. Yeah, they made this, it's a 1 mana 1/1 now without cast. So this card is terrible now too. Oh my god. Oh my god, I feel so bad for Demon Hunters. Because Demon Hunter is not even like I don't mind playing against Demon Hunter. They don't do crazy cheating things. Like every card they play is a card they run in their deck. Yeah, they curve, but that's the purpose of the deck, is to punish the slow, greedy decks, which I play. And if I play slow, greedy decks, I don't mind playing against Demon Hunter. This is too big of a nerf to them, man. This is bad. All right, so I'm assuming, so we have 2 Demon Hunter cards here. Hopefully that's all they touched. Scavengers, it's probably give it a 2/2 now. Yeah, so instead of a 3/3, it's a 2/2. This significantly reduces the power level of playing, like coining this card out and playing it on 2. Because a lot of the times, if this hits like a Phase Stalker or a Boar, a 1-mana 4/4 Boar is impossible to kill. Also, like a 5/6 Phase Stalker on turn 3 or on turn 2, like a 5/6 on turn 2, that when hero power gives you a free secret, like that was a lot, right? So this going down to a 2/2 has now made it fair. And because it's fair, it's no longer really good, which means it may not be enough, honestly. It's still a good draw mechanic and it's still a good card, but it's just not broken anymore. You know what I mean? At this being a 3/3, it was broken. It was a clearly very, very powerful, gotta play it card. But now it's more of like not an auto include, which I like. I like not like cards not being auto includes in decks because it allows for more variety and more deck building kind of like things that you can do, right? So, I mean, it's fair nerf. All right, before we even look at Shadow Jewels Hanar, as we know, it's a 2-mana 1/5. They're making a 2-mana 1/4. Let's check it out. Let's see if I'm right. Yep. All right. So Shadow Jewel, as we know, it's a 2-mana 1/5. I said this last podcast. I said just make it a 2-mana 1/4. That's all you need to do, and that's what was done. So that's pretty good. Good shit, boys. We went over this like a ton in our previous podcast, so I'm not going to cover it too much. But as we know, templing this card out on turn 1 or templing this card out on turn 2 there's no card in the game that can kill it unless you're a priest and you run Forbidden Words. And or you have like a Backstab Abyss as a rogue. So it was very hard to deal with this card. 4 health, slightly better to deal with because you can, like, if you have like a 2-mana 3/2 out and you can trade and then ping or hero power or what have you. So Blackjack Stunner, I can kind of see it on the screen, so I won't guess. But I was hoping that, I haven't read it. I'm hoping that they either reduce the cost of it being down from like 2, or you can't make it cost more than 10. So if you control a secret, return a minion to its overhand, it costs 2 more. A new battle cry, if you control a secret, it costs 1 more. All right, so I'm not a fan of this. I don't mind it. Like, they could have made it costs 1 more, but not more than 10. Because again, when you have cards like Freezing Trap, right? You can play around Freezing Trap by not attacking with your 10-mana minion, right? And you can wait to play another minion and then attack with that to test for freezing. So there's ways to play around Freezing Trap. Blackjack, you can't play around, right? Like, your opponent has a secret, you have a 10-mana card out, they blackjack it, goes to your hand, it costs 11. There's no playing around this. This isn't something that you can do to stop you from never playing a card that costs 10 mana in your deck again. So now it's 11 mana, it's in your hand, and you're fucked. That's it, right? So if it returns it at 10, I mean, they paid the 1-mana card to return a 10-mana card. In itself, they already sapped it. It shouldn't make a 10-mana card cost more than 10. That's just my opinion on that. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fun. And I don't think that being punished for playing a 10-mana minion and not being able to play around it is a fun or interactive mechanic at all. I mean, at least they touched it, right? Prison Scrap Imp, as we know, it's a 2-mana 3/3 at the dormant, and then it gives all minions in your hand +2/+2. They changed it, give all the minions in your hand +2/+1. I didn't really think this card was a huge problem, but it has blowout potential. I don't know if you've played against a Zoo Warlock, for example, a coin in their hand, or they can play this on 2, and then they tap on 3, and then they happen to have Magic Carpet. Dealing with a 3/8 Magic Carpet on turn 4 or 5 is almost impossible to deal with for most decks. And then once they get the carpet out and it doesn't die, there's no way that you're ever getting back on the board, ever, because all their 1-drops have rush and all their 1-drops are buffed. So the 1 health, loss there allows you to just basically deal with the minions a little bit easier. You're still going to die just as fast because the attack is still 2, but it's just easier to kill the minions so you don't die as fast. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to tell about this card in particular because it's such a vital part to that Zoo deck. Like, the most important cards in the Zoo deck right now is the Imprisoned Scrap Imp, Hand of Gul'dan, and the discard mechanic. All of the other cards in the deck revolve around those things. So they've nerfed one of those things, in my opinion, pretty heavily. But I still think the deck does what it still does, right? You still get the buff minions. They still have the same attack. You still can draw a whole bunch. So I think it'll still be okay, but it definitely took a little bit of a hit here. The Brute, Warrior taking a hit, boys. So 7 mana, 6/8. As you guys know, Rush costs 1 less for each damage minion, and they probably just hit its stats, right? Yeah, 5 attack, 8 health. So they gave it 1 less attack. Well, the thing is, it can still kill a Princess of Fury, guys, because Princess of Fury has 5 health. So they didn't nerf this card at all. This can still kill just about anything. The thing is that the problem with this card is they didn't target what makes this card good. The fact that it has Rush is good, and the fact that it has 8 HP is good. But what's even the best part of this card is its reduced cost. Being able to play this card for 1 mana, 2 mana, 0 mana is why this card is good. It having 6 attack, 5 attack, 4 attack, it doesn't fucking matter. The attack isn't why this card is really good. It's the fact that you can play it for almost 0 mana and it has Rush. And it has a shit ton of fucking health. So they didn't actually touch this card at all. This is still just as good as it was. This card's fine. Warrior is currently untouched. Mercenary. Oh boy. Oh boy. What happened here? All right, 3 mana, 3/3, and now it's a 3 mana, 2/2. All right, that is significant. So because they assume that when you play this card, you're going to be making your board pretty thick, that she shouldn't also be thick. I think a fair nerf would have been a 3 mana, 2/3, or a 3 mana, 3/2. If you're gonna target the stats, don't make it a 2/2. Don't make the card, if tempoed out, is terrible. A 3 mana, 3/3 felt fine. There was really nothing wrong with Mercenary. I don't like this. 2 mana, 2/2 is or 3 mana, 2/2 is too much. They overdid it with this card. I mean, it's still going to be played, maybe in the Warrior deck, but a lot of people will probably stop playing Warrior almost immediately because they feel like they nerfed 2 cards, so they're like, oh man, this Warrior deck is dead now. But then, like, people who still play Warrior are still going to play it. And it's still going to do really well. And then Ethereal Conjure will now function correctly. They no longer lock the game. Okay, well, that's good. The game breaks when you play Ethereal Conjure. I'm glad you fixed that. Well, that wraps up this patch change. They mentioned this will be rolling out early next week. I'm excited to play with any new changes that happen to Hearthstone because the meta then shakes up. We get to play more meme decks and, you know, discovering what is working and what not, you know, kind of reestablishes itself. So I'm interested to hear what you guys think are the best and worst buffs and nerfs here, and I would like to hear if you guys agree with me, if you disagree, and what you guys overall think of what they did. I also take a note that they didn't touch Priest. Priest was untouched, and I think Priest should have been touched in very bad ways because Priest is bad. So with that, thank you guys for watching. I'm Robert Warshak, of course. Catch you in the next video, and happy whatever the hell day it is.